All right, let's get organized here. Hey everybody, it's Carol, and welcome to the new camper Q&A the week of Camp Kesher. And we just have been wanting to put this together to hop on and give people who are coming to camp for the first time a chance to ask us some questions. And we have a lot of new campers this year, so that's why we wanted to really make it happen. While people are thinking of their questions, which you can totally put in the chat, and Morris will be looking for those, um, I have sort of a set of pro tips. We were hoping to make a very elaborate, beautiful video of this that somehow never got done this year, but we're totally making it happen in the off season for next year. So I just thought I'd talk you through the stuff we were planning to put in that video, and then you can just shoot us with whatever questions you have. So I think the easiest way to think about camp is sort of chronologically starting with before camp. And just for background, I've been coming to Camp Kesher. This will be year 19. So I know a couple of things about coming to camp. And I feel like there were things that it took me years to catch on to, how they worked, how they happened, when they happened, why they happened. So those are kind of the pro tips I have for you so that you don't have to spend years figuring them out. The first one is like, uh, new campers can definitely be in the variety show. You're probably seeing there's like a talent show. Yeah, totally. Each act is like 90 seconds long, and if you've got something you want to do in it, you should totally bring costumes, bring instruments, bring down whatever you want, and there'll be a sign-up sheet. Totally do it. When we say closed-toed shoes are needed for kids camp, kids to wear, we're not kidding. Like they totally, really seriously do need them. Please, please, please bring them. Um, I had an interesting conversation with one new parent that made me realize that we don't get that many new campers with older kids. If you are a new camper and you have a child that is eighth grade or above, they are going to be either a counselor in training in eighth grade, or if they're in high school, they are going to be a counselor. It's an incredible youth leadership program that we run, and the kids love their teen counselors. And we have a great head of camp this year, Jacob Glickman. There are meetings. They will teach them what they need to know. They'll be paired with other counselors who have been coming to camp for years. So it's going to be amazing. That's my top level thing. When we first started doing it, we used to do it with parents. We used to take turns doing kids camp. And when they switched to
Yes,
teen, hi, we can hear
yes,
you.
sir.
Um, it was like, how is that going to work? The way it works is great. It works way better than it used to. If everyone can mute so we don't get a lot of background sound, we're trying to record and keep this for folks who aren't here. Thanks a
And
lot.
that also allows for all the parents that want to attend to our scholarship sessions.
Right, actually, right. Your kids go in kids camp, you have a chance to be with the scholar or do whatever you want. Uh, Thank you for just saying that, Morris. Um, we sent you a handbook a few days ago. Look through it, like 20 plus pages of useful info, and there'll be a few hard copies at camp. When you get to camp, you'll get a copy of the schedule and a map of camp. We are giving you the things you need. Check out our COVID policy. Hopefully everyone has uploaded vaccination cards and has some tests ready to test on the day of camp. We needed people to test at home before they roll into camp. We don't have 200 COVID tests at camp for you. So please do that and take a picture on your phone, bring it. Um, I think that's what I've got for before camp. Do you have anything for before camp, Morris?
Um, don't go on Tuliva Ferry. You don't want to get bad parking.
Don't go. Well, that's arriving at camp. That's next. And that's one of the first things that I have to say is that I think when you're new, it's hard to imagine how to back time it so that you get to camp when you need to be there. Check-in is from 12:30 to 1:30 on Friday. So it's early in the day. Shabbos dinner is at 5:45 p.m. It's early. Then there's a service right after. In between, we have a counselor meeting at 1:15 for all the Madrahim, and at like 2:30 is the first session of kids camp at 4 o'clock or 4:30 is opening circle, and camp officially is opened. So you're going to want to get off that ferry schedule and back time like mad, because it's a holiday weekend. You're trying to go to an island, lots of ferry backups. The earlier you go, the less crazy it will be. So that's my speech about that. When you get there, the way it works in the COVID era now is you're going to arrive at a desk that is only going to look at your phone for your rapid tests. And if you don't have COVID, they're going to send you down to go get your welcome packet. It will have your name tags, your cabin assignment, and a map that shows you where your cabin is, and a one-page version of our schedule for the whole weekend. And I think that's all that's in there. That will give you your cabin. You can go to your cabin, unload. After you unload, you're going to get reparked. There's very little parking near the cabins. Most of the parking is kind of far from the cabins, and a whole parking crew is going to direct you, and they will shuttle you back down from our parking lot and get you organized. So that's all I have before you get to the cabin. You have anything else, Morris?
For those worried, we do also have wheelbarrows.
Right. There will be some wheelbarrows and wagons around for helping you load things in. There will be people around who can help you. Other than that, you're going to get to your cabin. And the first thing to know is don't keep any food in your cabin unless you would like raccoons to be in your cabin eating your food. It does not work out well. And I know all of us have food issues. I'm no exception, but we are going to make sure you have all the food you need. The um in Rounds Hall, there will be meals. Next to Rounds Hall is sort of a walkway we call the breezeway. There is going to be a big community fruit bowl there with fruit and snacks all weekend long, and leftovers, extra challah, whatever extra desserts, things will come out on the breezeway. And inside the breezeway is a mini kitchen that's for all of us to use. So if you have a special diet, you have a baby with you who needs baby food or whatever, you are free to put that food into that small refrigerator in there. There's no community food in there. It's not a place to go browse in. It's like everything should be labeled. If you're bringing stuff, put your family name on it so people know it's yours. What else? I'm up to mealtime. You have anything before we eat anything?
Yes, there is something we
Yes.
have to do before we eat, which is set the tables.
Yeah, that's the tip I have. Everyone helps set the tables for one meal. You look in the handbook and see by last name which is your meal. We're starting at the end of the alphabet and going backwards this year, because my family is tired of having to get up at 7:30 in the morning on Monday to set the table, which we've had to do every year of our lives. So, and everyone cleans up. So you'll have one meal that your family helps set up, and Self gives us everything we need and lays it out and makes that really obvious and helps us do it. And we all help clean up the hall. Usually we have to reset it for scholar session. We're moving tables, we're doing things, and we just all help with it. And we will make some brief announcements. There'll be a screen up in Rounds Hall with the announcements. There'll be an app you can connect to see updates, see the handbook, the schedule, the menu, anything you like. And I'm up to just like what we do all day. You have any other thoughts before we go there?
There's a couple things that are very helpful in the app. We have a link to our handbook where you can read a lot more of the stuff in very long depth. But we also have a link to our photo
Susan,
album.
can you mute for me, please? Thanks.
I'm not sure if you want me to go into this now or later, but we also have a link to our photo album for the year for camp.
Morris is excited about the app because he helped create the app, and you will get a QR code in Rounds Hall that you can just scan to pick up the app when you get to camp. So you haven't seen it yet. It hasn't happened yet. It will happen when you arrive in camp. I'm at what we do all day, which is, as Morris already kind of walked you through, we have meals with our kids, and then they tend to go off to kids camp, and we have our scholar sessions, which this year are going to be amaze balls with Chava Morel. And the way it works is kids camp starts before scholar session and gets out after. So you have time to go drop off your kid, come on down, learn, sing, whatever we're doing, or read a book on the beach, whatever you're doing, and then go get your kids at the end of a scholar session. We talked about Kids Camp staff. Oh yeah, my pro tip is take your one-page schedule that you get in your welcome packet, fold it up, and put it inside your name tag. Ah, I forgot the name tag. I'm so mad. They're all downstairs now. But you'll have a name tag that has like a kind of pocket that your name's in, and you can pop it in there, and then you just always have it with you.
And speaking of which, there will also be people walking around with little "Ask Me" stickers on their name tags. You can ask them anything you want.
Yeah, I have ordered a bunch of stickers for those of us who've been to camp a long time. If you see anyone with a blue Ask Me sticker, it means that they've been coming to camp, and you can ask them where things are, what's going on.
People are also asking about coffee, so we should probably address that.
Yeah, I guess before we get too far from meals, that people are worried about coffee. This is actually a hot chocolate fueled camp. The hot chocolate is like a cult, but yes, there is also coffee and tea, and they'll start it up early, like before breakfast. Usually you can come in and get drinks if you're an early bird, you're up with a kid or whatever. That'll already be rolling in there, and there's like a fridge with all the fancy milk, non-dairy milk things, and there's stevia, and all the options, all the good stuff.
And we have a good tea selection if you're
Yeah,
into that.
we have lots of tea, which is what I drink there. So, my next point is we have swag. If you visit the Kesher store, you can get a shirt that you can tie-dye during camp and have an incredible memento. Tie-dyeing is kind of a cult at Kesher. We're totally into it, and it's a lot of fun. And South has a whole station set up for us, and helps you do it. Super fun stuff. If you didn't pre-order, I do have some limited, additional stock. Hopefully you can come. Hopefully we have a shirt in the size you want for tie-dyeing. And we have hoodies this year back after a several-year absence. So if you need to stay warm, we got those too. The other thing that I think was always a secret to me, kind of, and I didn't feel invited into it, is that the meeting to start planning next year of Camp Kesher happens at Camp Kesher at 5 o'clock on Sunday, right before dinner. And you are invited to it. Please come. We want your ideas. We want your energy. We're looking to expand the committee very much so for next year. We have some people stepping away from roles. We had a lot of people step away from roles, a lot of turnover in the COVID gap. So we are totally rebuilding, and really we need many hands. This is an all volunteer camp. We have no staff. This is Judy and Mickey, let's put on a camp, and we need people to care about it and show up and do it. If you have questions at camp, as Morris said, you can look for the app stickers. I will do a whole who to ask about what in opening circle to kind of introduce you to a bunch of key players. So, like at first aid, housing, who to ask about what thing. I think that's it. I think I'm ready for the questions. I saw questions are coming. So go, Morris. What are people asking?
Well, I actually don't know the answer to this. I have not kept track approximately how many people, how many families and total people are attending.
We were at 203. We've had a few people have to not come, but we're above 190. Last year we were at 150, so we're super excited. Camp's going to be big and it's going to be awesome.
Okay, so I guess now is a great time to go over a little bit about some fun things during the variety show that happened. Our eighth fun thing, starting last year, and do it 1 year, it becomes a tradition. I am now putting together a slideshow of the weekend. Very, very fun thing.
This is an idea Morris had last year that, we always have like a photographer, kind of a camp photographer, but he was like, hello, we all have phones. We're all taking pictures, and everyone could upload a few of their faves, and we could make a slideshow at the end of variety show. It was fantastic. Totally doing it again. And so at camp, they will look in the app and be able to upload, right? There will be info.
Yes, so there'll be a link in the app to the photo album. You can either download or open Google Photos to use it once you've clicked on the link, or if you don't want to download it or you don't have it installed, you can use the website. there will be instructions in the photo album for how to use it, and I'm happy to share that link with instructions. I finished putting it together today. Um,
So it's a collab, people. We
yes,
we all
it
make it
is a
together.
collab. I
It's
need
really fun.
everyone's I need
It's a
everyone's
real highlight
photos.
of end of camp.
I need everyone's photos because otherwise it will not be fun or good. But
Help Morris and send him a photo. Okay,
on that
what
topic
else?
also on
What
that
else?
topic also just don't put add people's pictures without their permission.
Yes,
That's very
good point.
important.
Good point. All right,
Um,
next.
Vegan or plant-based options at meals.
Hopefully, when you filled out your registration form, you said that you needed those. And if you did, you became part of a detailed form I sent to Camp South. They actually wanted the exact name. They didn't want just like, oh, how many vegans you got. I actually gave them every person name and what they're allergic to, what they don't eat gluten, whatever. They have an absolutely completely detailed list. And what they do is roll out what we call the options cart. And so the meal, most of the meal will come to our tables. There's a salad cart, and then the options cart will come out. It's got sunflower butter. It's got the gluten-free bread. It's got everything for all the special things. My daughter's eating gluten-free now. She has IBS. Believe me, we are all over this. And if you have any problems, issues, we have food coordinators. What we don't have is 200 people wandering into the kitchen at Camp Casher trying to snag someone in the kitchen and tell them their problems. We have 2 people who collect the info each meal and then they share it all to Kesher cook staff so that we do not frighten them and we get what we want from them. So that's how the food special needs stuff goes down.
This is one of the while I'm waiting to see if anyone else has any questions, which please put them in the chat or even just ask them out loud.
Yeah,
We
raise your
also
hand, whatever
workshops.
we need to do.
We
What were
didn't
you
mention
saying, Morris?
we didn't mention workshops. So on Saturday in the afternoon we have workshops which are run by volunteers at camp.
Yes.
Um, and they are very fun. Lots of things. There's a game that's where tie-dye
We have an
happens.
awesome lineup of workshops this year. A lot of workshops, everything. Learn to play chess, paint a rock, you name it. Learn to play mahjong. 2 sessions of beginner, edit, and intermediate. So many good Israeli dance. So many good
Board games.
workshops, and also in that slot, archery, boating, tie-dye, Gaga, you know, we have new this year orienteering maps, and you can go around and, find orienteering stations. So that's going to be cool.
Okay.
What's next?
Does anyone else have any questions?
I see so many comments. What's happening here? We really got all of the we have caught all of the questions already?
Yeah, I caught a bunch of
Really?
them.
Oh, we didn't receive the handbook. Yeah, I'll check
The
Rutberg's
links are in there.
and
Thank
oh,
you, Jennifer.
you said gave her a link.
Thank you,
You've
Jennifer.
got it now. Thank you.
Okay, cool. I'm going to be updating it too. It's kind of going through a few updates right now, and there will be hard copies at Rounds Hall at camp, like to stay in the dining hall if you want to thumb through it again, and it will also be on the app.
The link for the app, is that finalized or are we still working on that?
It'll happen at camp.
Sweet. And then it's not just so you know, Rob, it's not downloading, it's in a website which you can bookmark. Responsibility of counselors, keeping kids from getting injured. Other than that, making sure they have fun, learn, make new friends. Activities that we do at camp. There we have something called Star Laboratory, where it's a really cool place for sort of seeing the sky and talking about some cool stuff. We got Touch Shanks, which I think is every age doing, or is, like some people not doing. Anyway, then we have archery for the older people. There's gonna be
Ooh,
some hiking going on.
I know what I want to say is that so if there's limited participation in these workshops, there will be sign-up sheets and there will be binders at the breezeway by the fruit bowl table. There'll be all kind of binders, sign up for variety show, sign up for, I can only take so many people to make a Shabbat candle holder, whatever, everyone, archery has limited availability. So I will put those out kind of in the evening of the day before each one. So after opening circle, probably I will put out the ones for Saturday workshops and for talent show.
Yeah, kids camp is a lot of fun. Lots of different things going on. We really made sure that this year there's a very broad variety of activities to give everyone something to be excited about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we actually received a grant from the Sammys Foundation to create a new curriculum for Kesher this year. We're super excited about it. It's really our first major grant in the 23-year history of Kesher. And we have hired someone who is a former camper and who will be back at camp with us, Stephanie Marshall. And she's created something I'm very excited about. It's Midot based, which is like the system of Jewish values. And it's going to be great. Thank you, Rob. We worked extremely hard. We wanted to implement it next year because they didn't give us the grant till about late February. And they were like, no, we want it for 2023. So me and my co-director, Catherine Lanham, have put in a whole layer of extra time and work developing this to let it loose this year. And we're super excited.
I've looked at it myself. It's very cool.
It's
And
gonna be
yeah,
it's gonna
sure.
be
If you
great.
want sheets? Bring sheets. There will not be.
Um,
Right.
yeah, so you have a bed, you will want to put a sheet on it. And then if you want to bring blankets and more sheets and stuff, you can do that. A lot of us just bring our sleeping bag. And yeah, you want to bring a pillow. So yes, to all that. Yeah, you kind of bring some bedding. I personally have a sleeping bag that I almost never get to use except for camp, and I've had it like my whole life. It's like a classical down bag, and I just can't wait to get to camp and get to sleep in my sleeping bag.
So,
I love it.
so for, I'm not sure if you can hear me. Hopefully you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's better than typing. So so with sleeping bags, we should be fine, right? In general.
You're still going to want to put a bottom sheet on the mattress. Just
Okay.
the
Make
big thing to know, I think that we didn't mention about Camp South is that it is a 100-year-old camp. This is not Carlsman with your brand new solar heated cabins and all. This is a rustic, old timey camp that older folks like us grew up going to. And so yeah, you're going to want a sheet. Oh, the thing I didn't say about the cabins is some of us love our camp beds and think they're great, and some of us think they're hard and uncomfortable. You can bring a mattress topper. You can double the mattresses. There'll usually be extras in your cabin. Just put two. Work with that. I also got the question. Susan contributed this to me on an email that I loved. That she was like, "I'm bringing a toddler. How do they sleep in my cabin?" And that's a great question. A lot of options. Bring a pack play. Put a couple of mattresses on the floor. They can't fall out now. Put their bed up against the wall and stack some mattresses around it so that they aren't going to fall out. We have a record 9 0 to 4-year-olds at camp this year, so usually there are maybe 2. So this is kind of it's the next generation of camp is landing in 23. It's amazing. And more people have this challenge this time. You can push beds together. You can, like I say, you can layer mattresses on top. If you need any creative help, ask me people, and we will totally give you all our hacks on it.
I think 2018. Someone brought their own mattress.
Lisa Marmer used to bring her own mattress topper. Yeah, great big inflatable mattress topper. So,
yeah.
So
and
yeah.
Also, every family does get their own cabin unless you specify that you wanted to share.
Yeah. So let us tell you the secrets of getting a great cabin at Camp Kesher. Bring a baby, work on committee, or offer to share a cabin with other people. The way we have fit 200 people into camp is because we have many people sharing. If you take a stroll down Village, which is like the road that goes out to boating, yeah, Walter, you're in for the win with the baby. If you walk out Village down to boating, you will look at the names on the doors, and you will see almost every one of them has more than one family name on it, because these are all people who agreed to share cabins.
Now, granted, sorry, go ahead.
If we don't share cabins, we can't fit this many people into camp. It's just that simple. will like you top out about 170, 180. Larry and I actually were planning to bring our RV to free up more housing, but we had some things shift and now we're into a cabin. But we just want to fit in as many people as we can. This camp's amazing. It's indescribable, really, if you haven't been. It's something special. There's not really a lot of camps like it.
And one other thing though is also you may not be sharing a room. You might be technically sharing a cabin, but you won't be sharing a room, right? So like there's the counselor cabin and there's the longer cabin, and there'll be two families if you're not sharing the actual room. But you are
Right.
technically sharing a cabin.
Other families will be near you, and these are all set up for camps of kids. So there's like a counselor cabin in the middle that two adults usually stay in, and on either side there's cabins of kids. So there's people around you. I saw Walter's question: how noisy does it get at night? Can kids really sleep? It is dead quiet at night. Everyone has to be quiet. We don't stand for noise at night, and people are exhausted. You've been walking up and downhill all day. People are tired. The thing to know is that those teens who work at the kids camp, it's a work hard, play hard situation where they work all day taking care of our kids. And then from 9 until midnight, they kind of have their own teen program, also known as teen party action, going on in Lower Chautauqua, which is not near any cabins. It's down by Brown's Hall and the office. And when their program is over, it is on them to quietly go to their cabins and fall down and go right to sleep because they have to get up early and do kids camp again. So, they hang out. He says they watched Men in Black last year. They make pizza, they do whatever. They have a Minecraft building party on all their devices. They do teen stuff. They get a special scholar session for just the teens. All kind of cool stuff happens in Lower Chautauqua. And then, they got to go home quietly and go right to sleep. And my husband, for years and years, when our kids were toddlers and preschoolers, he would go take them to go to sleep about 8, 9 o'clock, and he would go to sleep and he was asleep. Like, it wasn't noisy. If people are making noise, we want to hear about it because that's not cool. We all
In terms of bringing your own camp chairs, you will not regret it. You will very much enjoy it. Great for looking out on the beach. Great for playing cards or playing mahjong.
And just they're comfier than the wooden benches from 100 years that
the
are
limited
provided by the camp. So most of us bring it. Most of us, especially grown-ups, bring a camp chair. You can take it to jovening. You can do everything with it. And I'm just about to crack out the packing list tonight because I want to pre-pack. I actually go a whole day early because at 8 a.m. Friday morning, I will be walking camp, putting up your cabin labels so you can find your cabin, and just making sure all the cabins are clean and ready. And that's the fun lead director's special job.
There is a large trail run. You can practically
repeat the question.
Sorry, there is there a trail run? There is a very large trail. We have, I think, 4 hiking trails which you can run. Running up around Blueberry Hill is a very nice run. You will be exhausted afterwards.
A lot of people just run straight out Village if you want to level one, or run down the beach is also. But your map you're getting of camp shows trails. There are trails, and actually Matt Heitelbaum, who's a longtime camper, is seriously into running. So I'm sure you can get tips from him when you get to camp.
He also has all the games.
And he has all the games. Matt, Morris, can you grab the link to the packing list?
I will try to track it down somewhere. The one other thing I wanted to mention about the trails, there is poison ivy. It is not fun to get poison ivy.
Yeah, stay on the trail.
Stay on the trail, and you may want to not wear shorts if it's not too hot.
Yeah. The weather's looking pretty reasonably ideal last time I checked. It might rain a little. It happens at camp. And what I've learned is the kids think it's hilarious. I was always like, no, I don't want it to rain. And then it finally happened one year, and the kids just laughed the whole time. They thought it was a blast. So no worries, but bring raincoats because it can rain. Yale, you are correct. We cannot. It is actually a riptide beach. It is not a safe beach for swimming. There is no swimming at South. And leaving camp to go swim with, I don't even know how or where that would work, but it's not going to be that warm. I don't think it's going to be desirable. Okay, thank you, Jen, for sharing the packing list. It has been shared. Oh, you swim on Vashon, cool. But yeah, do that after leaving camp or
Or
something.
before.
Skip the ferry line going back and take an hour. And I've learned that if you wait till about 3, it's gone. If you go chill, go eat, go do something, because directors don't get out so later. And then I was like, oh, there's no waiting now. It's amazing. Where usually it's sort of a catch or mini immediate reunion. We're all at the ferry line, and then we all get out of our cars and talk to each other some more
Right?
and talk
We
on
all
the boat.
cry and then we all see each other.
Yeah, we all cry. We're like, ah! We can't be leaving. 364 days till camp. That's our battle cry as we leave. Anyway, what else? What else can we tell you except that we're super excited? There are so many new campers. I think it's 25 or 30% new campers. So you will
Don't
not
miss
be
dancing.
alone. Pardon?
Don't miss don't miss dancing. We have dancing at night and song session, and you should not miss either. They are very fun.
It's hard to do all the things because many of them happen simultaneously, but there is Shabbos evening is a blast. We eat dinner, then we have an incredible, hopefully, sunset service outside. Last year, it was such an amazing sunset that Rabbi Brett Weissman stopped and took a picture while leading the service because he was just like, "This isn't happening. You didn't see anything," and then he took because it was unbelievable. It was so beautiful. Um, and then we go inside, have an ice cream sundae bar, do Israeli dance. The little kids go to a little kids story time and hopefully wind down and go to sleep. And then we all play games till however late we want to stay up in Rounds Hall and hang out and schmooze and have a good time. And, a lot of us who had teenage counselors got in the habit of staying up and playing games till midnight because someone had to make sure your teen is back in bed at midnight. So you can either lay there in your bed for 3 hours with one eye open, or you can stay up and schmooze and play and have fun and then go escort your teen to home. So we would usually do that.
It's also not fun to wake up to your team coming back.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So we would just stay up. I feel like I don't like to sleep that much at camp because then I'm missing minutes of camp. But so Walter, 3 years old, cannot stay in a cabin on their own. That is
Not be
absolutely
smart.
true. Rob, there is an optee attendee contact list, and everyone who opts in to be on it will be in it, and it should be in the app. It should be accessible right the minute you get to camp this year, which is a kind of a new thing. We used to get a sheet mailed to us or emailed after. So that's in advance.
Password to that will be given at camp. If you're
Yeah,
wondering,
and we'll get
it's
everybody in on
protected.
that. Oh,
Um,
I think the thing we didn't mention about Variety Show is that all of the acts in Variety Show are super awesome and receive our absolutely wild applause and support. So
and
just so you
is
know,
not allowed during that time.
a kid can get up and go, and sit back down, and it's like the crowd goes wild. We're here to just make everyone who is willing to get up and participate in Variety Show feel valued and special. And we have had some incredible actual talent in Talent Show, and some of the kids camp groups will do numbers, and it's must-see TV, let me tell you. It's a lot of fun.
One last thing about kids camp. Drop off can be a little bit confusing if you are new. For everyone over the age of 4, I believe, we are on the grass right outside Grounds Hall, next to the breezeway. For 4 and under is in Misty Mountain, which
Misty
is
Mountain Lodge.
up diagonally from
Look at your
Grounds
map
Hall,
when
and
you
you'll
get
be
to
on the
camp.
map.
There is outside the dining hall, there is a lawn, and Misty Mountain is going to be across that lawn. You'll see a 2-story building with people going over there, and that is where the babies hang. That is their home base. They may go out and wander about a little together, but that is the home base. I forget, there's actually in the handbook, Walter, it says what age you can leave a kid unaccompanied, but I'm thinking
Yeah,
it's
I kind of
older.
I was just kind of stating the obvious, as in like you'll be having fun playing games and we'll be just watching at the baby. That's all right. I'm just.
We usually take turns when we have young
What's
kids.
what's the map that you're mentioning with the details on the buildings and all these things? Where can we find that map?
You're going to be handed it with your, it's
Oh,
stapled
okay,
to the
so
outside of your welcome packet. When you get your packet, you're going to have a map right on the outside of it. It'll show where your cabin is. It has the whole camp laid out, and your name tags and lanyards are in it. And people will help you figure out where your cabin is. And then you have your map, you're set. Hang on to it.
It also may be smart to bring a baby monitor if you are worried.
Yeah, I've seen people do that, and we sort of look the other way if you do, but I wouldn't do it unless your cabin is very near Rounds Hall or wherever you're hanging out. I wouldn't go too far.
There's outlets and everything for electricity in the cabins. I'm
There
assuming.
is usually at least one plug. There's often not many in some of the cabins, but there's usually at least one double plug per cabin.
Okay, so we'll bring many baby monitors and that's that.
Yeah. Yay, baby bomb.
There is ice.
Is there
Sorry.
ice? I didn't know the answer to that question. Thank you, Morris.
I believe we have ice. I know the kitchen has ice, and I believe we were able to get it. I cannot remember if there's ice.
I think we can get our hands on ice. I guess I've never wanted to. I don't know. I'm never looking for ice.
I've seen people have iced coffee, so that's
The
all.
kids are always just looking for more hot chocolate. The
There's-
whole
there's
drag is
ice-
that during scholar sessions, because the hot chocolate machine kind of makes a noise, they put a little sign that says it's like off limits now. And yeah, then everyone's like, "What? No hot chocolate." So
There's ice in the little kitchen with the fridge.
there's ice in the fridge in the little kitchen. Yeah. So you could always sneak it out of there. And obviously, Camp South staff is incredible to us. We have been squatted on this prime weekend for a couple decades now, and we're just, Jews and have all these needs. And they're so nice to us. And like, if you're interacting with any South staff, please just give them every courtesy because they could probably find someone else for this weekend. And
Weddings would love it.
we feel
Let's put it
very,
that way.
very lucky to have had this opportunity for so many years. And we need to be nice to the facility so we get to keep doing it. And at Opening Circle, you will get a whole safety speech from them about camp and what you need to know from their perspective to respect the kind of antiquated property that we put this crazy show on at. Um, what else? I don't know.
Couple little things. Bathrooms, showers, they are outside nearby cabins. You will want
Mostly. So
No.
a very few sort of ADA situations have a bathroom in a cabin, but it's mostly not. It's mostly a bathroom is near your cabin.
the only one that comes to my mind is Priscilla White, which is right next to Ramsall.
There are others I learned when I walked camp last year as a director.
But the other thing is counselors kids camp counselors do not like waiting. We will leave within 3 minutes if you do not show up.
Yeah, people need to respect that the kids camp kids have been slaving for 2 hours with taking care of your kids so you could kick back and come get your kids on time, please. Yes.
And also for drop off, I would say.
And yeah, well, with drop off, they're going to depart. So get your kid there on time. They're going to go off somewhere on a hike in the wetlands. They'll be at Art and Birdcage. You won't know where they are. You'll have missed your window to put your kid in kids camp because
You'll be stuck.
yeah, you'll just be entertaining your kid. They won't be in camp. Oh, but so what I should really talk about is Friday kids camp. Last year, we got a lot of feedback about easing new families into the whole kids camp scene. So this year, the first session of kids camp is only 90 minutes. It's not 2 hours. And parents are welcome to accompany their younger kids. I'm assuming the older kids will be like buzz off. But if you have a young kid and it's their first time at our kids camp, you can just go along with them and hang out, just be a fly on the wall, let their counselors kind of do the work of getting to know them. They'll be making challah. We fought for challah making for every grade level this year in the schedule. It's a longtime tradition in the first session at camp. And so it's a shorter session than usual. We're trying to kind of make it chill, make it easy for new kids to get a taste of kids camp, start to fall in love with their counselors. By the end, we will not be able to peel them off of the counselors when it's time to check them out. Literally, they will be hanging on, so they'll be on their piggyback rides and we'll be like, you got to go now. because they just love these teens, and it's just a tremendous opportunity for them to have kind of Jewish, young Jewish role models that they're around. It's one of my favorite things about camp is the relationships that form between these counselors and their kids. I don't know. Seems like we've done it. Final Jeopardy, other questions you have? I'll be there so early on Friday, and you will be able to ask me anything when you get there. And all I can say is if you can swing it, I know it, I feel like the first year we probably didn't get there early, and then we started scheming of like, okay, we need this Friday off and we need to save that vacation day. And, we started making our plot to make sure we got there early so we could get more hours of camp, not have to shortchange it. If you are getting to camp late after 1:30,
Email.
the welcome desk kind of will disappear. And we have given you in the handbook a number to text. Laura Lichtman will have all the remaining packets and stuff you're going to need to find her, show her your tests so you can get your Kevin. So that's the deal, but try and get there if you can, because it'll be more of a pain later. and you'll be busy unpacking while we're like having Shabbos dinner or something. So no one wants that.
If you have any questions about kids camp, to our last thing, feel free to ask counselors. There's a very high likelihood that they will not know. So you can ask Jacob Glickman, who is the head of our kids camp, who is phenomenal.
Luxler, an amazing man, rocking an impressive Jufro, and Jacob was a family friend of one of my sons, so I have known him for a long, long time. Morris, how long have you been coming to camp?
I've been coming to camp, let's see, longer than Hazel, probably 10.
Certainly. You think 10 years?
I think I was 6 the first time I came.
Yeah, that's what I think our oldest was, 7. So yeah, this camp is a tradition and so the other thing to know is most of the counselors in kids camp will have been at this camp for many years. There's not a lot of newbies in the group. It's like all familiar names when I put together the schedule. So that's it. Tomorrow night, if you have a teen, we're having a meeting for the counselors. Otherwise, we, email me, you guys have a million emails from me. Just reply to any one of them if you want to ask me something. And we will see you at camp. I can't believe it's almost here. Woo! So exciting. See you soon, all.
Bye.
Bye. See you. Thank you.